Hey everybody, you're listening to Second Round Steals as we go through our 2015-2016 NBA team previews. Be sure to check out the rest of our previews, and don't forget to stay tuned with us for regular updates throughout the season. Alright, so I guess let's get started with the Atlanta Hawks.
So last year they were 60-22. They were a really good team. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Got swept, actually.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad way to end the season for a team that was probably one of the best two teams in the league for, I guess, the majority of the season.
Yeah, and they're a real fan favorite, you know. You had people rooting for them over anyone because they were the underdogs. Cinderella story of the year.
Yeah. So the key additions were T.I. Splitter. They traded for him. They also traded for Tim Hardaway Jr. They drafted Walter Tavares, and they drafted or signed Lamar Patterson.
Right. So for the losses then, also with when they signed Millsap, they had to let go of DeMar Carroll, obviously. They lost the likes of Pero Antique, fan favorite John Jenkins, and Elton Brand.
Elton Brand will definitely be missed.
Yeah.
So what do you think the starting lineup will look like then?
Obviously they're gonna keep it same as they have the past couple of years. Point guard, you're gonna have Teague. Shooting guard, you're gonna have Korver. Small forward, right now, I know Cephalosha is still coming off that injury. They want to get him out there as a starter. If he doesn't get back in time, you're looking at a combination of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kent Bazemore starting for them. I think Bazemore has the potential to really win that, just due to his actual defense playing as opposed to just Hardaway shooting, which they could use in the second unit. Power forward, you still have Millsap, and center, you got Horford.
And to add to that, they added Tiago Splitter on the bench, and they still have pretty good bench pieces in Dennis Schroeder as well.
Right, exactly. And I know Budenholzer might consider, giving out three-man lineup of Millsap, Horford, and Splitter after watching Millsap kind of defend LeBron in that Eastern Conference Final. He did a really good job of that.
So you'd have Millsap at the 3 then?
Yeah, his size, they're not going to start that or play that heavy minutes, but that's something they could go for until they get a reliable 3 in there.
Mm-hmm. And it won't be too big of a issue because Millsap can shoot, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You're not losing much spacing. You're going with more traditional lineup.
Yeah.
So, once you bring Splitter off that bench, I think he's really going to help them out also because he's coming from Greg Popovich's system, He really learned that system well in the past couple of years, and that's where Budenholzer gets a lot of his play style from.
Right.
He's also from that same school. So I don't think Splitter's going to have any trouble fitting into this offense. He's always been a good defender. The acquisition of Hardaway, it's not a big splash per se, but...
To be honest, I really don't think Tim Hardaway's that good.
I don't think he's a great player, but I think, having him sitting there, being able to shoot threes, it's going to be really good and take some of that attention off Schroeder, because everyone's going to have a scouting report out on Dennis Schroeder after last year.
Yeah, that makes sense, but would you rather have Tim Hardaway Jr. or the pick they traded Kelly Oubre for?
Yeah, I would rather Oubre, but you work with what you got.
Hardaway's more ready.
Yeah.
He's more experienced.
Alright, so Charles, what do you think the stat is going to be for this?
So the big stat that defines the Atlanta Hawks season, so I had it was 46%, which was DeMar Carroll's shooting percentage on corner threes last year. And compared to Tim Hardaway Jr. shot 29% from threes in the corner last year, and Kent Bazemore shot 38% from the corners. DeMar Carroll, he was the only guy on the team, only starter on the team that didn't make the All-Star team, but he was still a really important piece of the puzzle. He hustled a lot, and he filled in for the lack of rebounding that sometimes Millsap and Horford didn't provide.
Right, exactly. Big Al's a great player, but, he has been weak on the boards, just simply because he's too busy playing defense or doing other things and contributing that way. My stat was actually games played by Al Horford.
Yeah.
2014, 2015, it was the most games he's played since 2010, 2011. And coincidentally, that was also the last time that this organizations went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think...
Is it Joe Johnson, Josh Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that team. But, I mean, you could see the difference between 2013, 2014, 2014, 2015. Once Al Horford went down, they became the 8th seed. They didn't play nearly as well because you lost that versatile big man that they had. And it showed that he made this team ridiculously amazing once he came back. You can attribute it to, DeMarre Carroll rose up and everything, but I think DeMarre Carroll kind of rose up because there was so much attention on Al Horford out there.
Right. So I think adding to my stat, and you mentioned like how the rebounding was, so the Atlanta Hawks were like one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. They're like 4th worst in the league in rebounding. I think that's what killed them against the Cavs because they had a lot of size. And I think Tiago Splitter might balance the lack of rebounding, but that's something to look out for the Hawks in like the playoffs or during the season as well.
Oh, definitely. All right, so for the big picture of this team for the rest of this season, I'm predicting, another 50-win season.
Yeah, for sure.
Potential to have another 3 All-Star year, unless someone declines for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Al Horford being injured too.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely are going to regress just simply because DeMarre Carroll is so versatile on defense for them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they should stay afloat in a weak Eastern Conference, especially if they can get some mediocre play even from a Cephalosha, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bazemore combination. Yeah, so I mean, I think they're gonna still keep that elite level in the East. I don't know if they have anything that's gonna push them the next step this year, though.
So, do you think? I personally don't think they're contenders at all for the championship.
No, they didn't. They did not improve in any way. So once they meet the Cavs buzzsaw again, they're gonna get chopped up. Mm-hmm. But I mean, another thing to really look out for here, they have a lack of youth in that front court, and that really needs to be addressed. You have Al Horford, Paul Millsap on the wrong side of 30, Tiago Splitter too. You have no real quality bigs out there. Like they have Mike Scott, but he's closing in on 30. They just got Walter Tavares, you said it before.
Yeah, he probably won't be playing much.
Yeah, and Mike Muscala, but you really need to see some development from those last 2 guys because they have nothing once, Millsap and Horford start declining.
Yeah, and they don't really have like a tweener 3-4 small forward, power forward combo. That's what they had in DeMarre Carroll. He could play the 4 at times, and I think now they have a little bit less versatility as well.
I mean, they have Mike Scott, but he got buried on that bench real quick last year. And he's an enigma. We've seen some great flashes from him, but not consistent.
And he's also been arrested for weed.
So...
Yeah, that happened this offseason, right?
I'm pretty sure. That might have been the start.
So I just pulled it up. They found him with 35 grams of weed on him, so
there might be some character issues in play too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a suspension or anything, but that's something to look out for. Like if he has some attitude issues, or that could just mess up his playing time or chemistry if he has to do anything relating to that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So, what do you think excitement is for this team?
I have this Hawks excitement level at 7.5. Like last year, they really surprised everyone with how fluidly they played. Kyle Korver was ridiculous. He had one of the best shooting seasons probably ever. A lot of people call them the Spurs East because of the way they play the game. Like they pass the ball a lot.
Right.
They
flow.
Pass up good shots for great shots, and that's what they continue to do. What about you?
I have them at a 7. Not so very close to what you put it at, but I think they're a good team. They're not a great team. Their 2 big stars are a little bit slower this year. They're getting on the wrong side 30. It's always fun to watch Korver, but I mean, also going back to their big picture, I expect a little bit of loss there because Korver's really getting up there in age, and he has to
Yeah.
guard.
13th year in the league.
Yeah, he has to guard the two guards in the East, which we're talking about a weaker conference, but you still have to deal with like DeMar DeRozan, Dwayne Wade. He's not gonna draw easy matchups out there.
Right.
And I think a lot of like what Corver did was kind of from relying on DeMar Carroll as a defensive
So you can
backup.
hide on the
Yeah.
lesser.
Which I'm not calling him a bad defender. I know it's got to be tough to put up with him, but he's older now, so I don't know if you're going to see as much of that amazing shooting we saw this year because he's going to have a lot more energy on the defensive end to try and keep up with these guys.
I think the one thing about the Hawks that added to my team excitement level of 7.5 was like I wouldn't change the channel for like Jeff Teague or
Exactly.
Al Horford. Like there's nobody that really captivates.
Yeah, there's no superstar that's going to draw you in to watch it, and at the same time, you already know what they are. It's not like they're unpredictable at this
Yeah,
point.
they're solid, and that's what makes them a good team.
Yeah.
There's no really combustible pieces.
I give them the potential to go up to an 8 if Schroeder takes another huge leap like he did from
Yeah.
season 1 to 2. But that's
Yeah, he was pretty impressive during the season. Like a lot of people call him like Baby Rondo. But maybe we see him with lineups with Jeff Teague and Schroeder on the same team.
yeah. I don't like that comparison of like Baby Rondo, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he's a much better shooter.
He's just very long.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. I think that's where a lot of the comparisons come from.
No, for sure. By developing, I'm talking like if he can put up gaudier stat totals, or even if he just becomes a net positive. You know, he was a negative for them for whatever reason when he was on the floor, just because I guess.
Inexperienced.
And the second unit wasn't as like thick. I guess I'm not sure. I don't know what could have made him a negative for them, but he was.
I don't know. He could have been maybe a ball stopper. I guess he kind of contributed to the less fluid movement of the ball, maybe. But his stats were good. He averaged 10 points, 4 assists on 42% shooting. So he might not be like a pass-first point guard, but
I mean, he gave them what they needed. They needed
Yeah.
something coming off that bench, and he gave it to them. So, no criticism meant to him. Just hope for development. All right. I guess that's about it for the Atlanta Hawks then.
yeah. Aside from one random stat, social media stalker. So last season the Hawks had a Tinder night.
Ooh.
How do you feel about this, Finn?
I kind of want more. I know recently, didn't they? They're sponsoring Ashley Ashley Madison.
Yeah, Ashley Madison. They might have had a night sponsored by Ashley Madison for, I guess it's the night where cheaters go out with their.
No, it's the night where they get exposed in front of all the fans for cheating, like the Duggar.
Would you say Atlanta Hawks game is a good Tinder date?
I think it's a great Tinder date if you have nothing better to do.
I mean, it's Atlanta. It seems like a pretty fun city. But maybe more teams can employ the Tinder night. Maybe New York, maybe LA, maybe bigger markets.
No, let's get a Milwaukee Tinder night. I really kind of want it.
Tinder night.
Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun.
Timberwolves Tinder night. Timberwolves Timber night, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think the Hawks record will be this year? I have them at around 55 wins. What about you?
I'm gonna have to go a tad lower. I'm gonna say about 51 wins.
Okay.
I think the rise of some other Eastern Conference teams are gonna knock them down a few pegs.
Okay. Anything else to add on the Atlanta Hawks?
A really cool thing. I mean, no matter what for this team, I feel like it's a little bit unfair even to look over them because their season isn't gonna measure up as well as it did last year at all. Last year, they had a huge historical year. It was a bunch of year the first for them. They had the first 17-0 month, the first 5-man player of the month, the first 60-win season of their franchise, the first time in the Eastern Conference while the team has been located in Atlanta. You know, they're coming off a huge season, and I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a disappointment for their fans, not due to them being a bad team in any way, just because they had so much amazing stuff happening last year.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to the Hawks. I think they're in the region of good teams but not exciting teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right then.
Hey, thanks for listening to Second Round Steals, our NBA podcast. Please be sure to check out the rest of our 2015-2016 NBA team previews, and stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of different podcasts, probably weekly, and we'll be there every step of the way covering all the drama, great games, great plays, and highlights of the NBA season. So please be sure to check us out on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube for your podcast needs. And stay tuned for more content outside of podcasts, like videos and articles, and even probably live discussions. Thanks for listening.